everyone, this is Meg at Chasing Retro. Today I'm excited to get to share with you a custom ordered journal. This is a houseplant themed journal. I was contacted by the customer to see if I could turn this houseplant binder that I found at our local library bookshop into a houseplant journal so she can keep track of her houseplants. And she turned out to be a very full journal. Luckily, I had a lot of space to already work with. The spine is probably, I think, 3 inches wide. But as you can see, it is very full and very, very voluptuous in what she has inside. The tassel is removable with I think that's called a bulldog clip. And the tassel has a variety of things on it. This is a little drawing that my daughter did that we put in a locket. And lots of glass, wood, a few plastic beads, vintage buttons. There's a ceramic bead, little metal charms. All the colors that are portrayed in this cover are in these dangles. And I love the way it sounds. It's almost like wind chimes. It is tied with a very thin, I think it's 0.13 inch red Grosgrain ribbon, double ribbon back and front. That was her request. And this trim right here is some vintage, beautiful vintage embroidered floral trim. And I sewed a little button onto that and onto the ribbons to hold them down. And then on this other edge, we have the same trim with red buttons. And then on the back, more beautiful pictures, and then another button with 2 flowers from the trim. This journal has 99 leaflets in it, so that's 198 back and fronts. I believe this might be the largest journal I have made so far. Very, very big, but amazing. I had so much fun making this one. I say that every time, but this one was truly unique, and it kind of took shape as it went along, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So in the front, we have a beautiful, you might have seen me thrift this recently. It's a beautiful upholstery trim that you would maybe use for a pillow, and I thought it looked like grass. So I put it here on this little cardstock pocket, and we have a 3D sticker. And this is from one of my gardening books. It was a chapter title, so I turned it into a journaling card. And this is just a tag with some gold ferns and some vintage crochet. This might have come in Happy Mail, I think it did. And then a vintage playing card, the little house. And this is some scrapbook paper that I received in Happy Mail from Jan. I thought it went great with the colors in here. And I used the bottom corner with the tree. And then I made a little label with, I think that's a Tim Holtz label. And then I used brads to adhere it down. And then the background is textured wallpaper. And then there's a silk leaf behind it. I did add reinforcers on all the holes, and they're just plain white reinforcers that I either used a stamp pad and made green, or I used alcohol ink markers. So there's a variety of green shades in here. Graph paper with a beautiful sticker. Here is some beautiful, it's kind of got a shimmer to it. I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful wallpaper with some leaves. And a little pocket here. And then here's a journaling card with texture paste that I put on top of a wallpaper digital from Tailor Made Journals. And I adhered this little tab to the top, and it says, "All the flowers of all the tomorrows are in the seeds of today." And this is from a book called The Nonsense Alphabet, and I thought it was great because it had the little vine. And I did some decorative stitching here. And this is just a card that says, "Bloom where you're planted." There's a lot of pictures in here from gardening books, magazines, and also just various home decor magazines that had pictures of houses and rooms with plants. Let me move this over a little bit. Stationery page, little washi here, cardstock. Here's a pocket, and I did a little sewing cluster on it. And this is just a tag made from a book page. It's actually an Australian gardening book, but I love the lime green. And it's backed on watercolor paper. And then this is a adorable image from a Hallmark gift book of a little child watering plants. So cute. And this is an envelope made from a magazine page. And inside of here, I thought this could be some sort of a placard or a sign, or, you know, a label that she could put where she wanted, where she might list all of her plants. This is from Better Homes and Gardens, and you've probably seen these used everywhere. So Better Homes and Garden binders have 5 holes. So what I did, and they would not match with these, so I just flipped the page around and made new holes, and then I ran decorative yarn or ribbon through the holes on the other side, just for some visual interest. A piece of scrapbook paper, and I'm gonna have to move it over. It folds out to a side pocket. This is a Kool-Aid dyed index card and an ad from a vintage gardening magazine. And we have a little cluster here. Some vintage fabric. And then a graph paper cut in half, and it folds open like that. Here's another book page with pictures of houseplants. I use this little die cut as a tuck spot. We have a little memo page and another book page with, isn't that so pretty to put the plants up there and trailing down? I thought that was neat. And these are some adorable little paper clothespins that I bought that were cactuses. And it's holding on a envelope made from a book page with a napkin decoupage that I sewed around. And inside here are all the little fussy cuts and things I did not use in the journal that she will be able to place where she'd like, including a lot of labels. So there are more than enough labels to label if you want to put pictures of your house plants or whatever. I added a lot of labels. We have another book page here with a beautiful sunroom and then some lined paper on the back. And then this is an envelope. This is from a Life magazine from 1973. And it's a picture of a Jewish couple sitting in the valley of Kidron. I think that's how you say that. Reading prayers. And so inside I put a prayer card with beautiful flowers, and it's a prayer from the book of Esther. I just thought the black and white with all this other color was pretty striking. I think I had it this way. And Kool-Aid dyed paper and some more of that yarn. This is one of the dividers in the original binder. Here's a side pocket with a digital, beautiful pansy, I think. And this is a page that I was sent in Happy Mail of flowers of Israel. So my customer grew up in Israel. She knows a lot about plants and flowers. And so this absolutely had to go into her journal. So I just folded it and put it in there. I did not want to cut it up or anything. I wanted it to stay whole. And then I have a little journaling card stamped. This is a set of Martha Stewart stamps that I found at a yard sale. It's honestly one of the things I'm most excited about because they are so cute. Look at this window. Can you imagine? It's just so green. Here's another page with the orange velvet couch. Love it. This is just a children's book that had a little plant in the window, so I added that. A little crocheted flower here. Scrapbook paper, tuck spot. This says a happy place to be. This is vintage wallpaper, and this is a digital. This page says, always keep yourself well rooted. I wrapped a doily around this page. This is one of the pages that went in the binder, so I just included it, and it just talks about the care and the maintenance of every houseplant and flower. This is another magazine image that I turned into a full page, and then on the back is one of the watercolors that my daughter does. So this is a cyclamen, which is the same flower here. And this image my husband actually drew and then used watercolors. So this is Israel. I just showed him a picture and he drew it. I mean, my family is full of artists. I am so proud. And here's another cyclamen. I think these both are, yeah. And then I just glued a thin pink ribbon on the edge of that page. Here is a flip that's also a pocket. And we have a cute little journaling card. And this adorable image of these children eating breakfast, it looks like, with some plants in the window. So this is another page from the Life magazine, and this is a picture of, I think it's Judea in Israel, and these people are walking toward Jerusalem. So it was a very large page, so I cut it in half, and then I put the top and the bottom on one, and you'll see the other one in a minute. So that way I was able to keep all 4 images and use them in the book. This is a new technique that I just learned called couching, and I just used it to sew down this little quilt strip. I thought that was fun. And this is a page from a Work Basket magazine. Here's some more cyclamen, I believe. This is a digital image, and this is from a vintage science textbook. Another one of my daughter's watercolors, some daffodils or narcissus. And then a little journaling card with this adorable little girl. And then this beautiful digital, it looks like watercolor. This is a die cut from, I did this on my Scan and Cut. It's like a little wildflower. This is from a Make and Do magazine by, book by Childcraft, How to Make Your Own Macrame. This is a digital of a placemat that I have, and cardstock, and you can see where I sewed a fabric pocket. It's like a brocade. I've done a cluster here, and then inside there's a fern that's been laminated, and I put a button cluster, and then a vintage postcard with cacti, no date, and another digital. Is that not so cute? I love the pen and ink. Beautiful palm here. Some more fun spaces, like a home library, it looks like. Here is that textured wallpaper. I love it so much. It looks like one of the baskets that you would put a plant in. This was an article in Ideals about how to make rose potpourri. So I attached a little fabric rose here, and there's a poem inside. And this is a vintage birthday card. It had roses on it. Here's just a little fabric ruffle, and then a project planning page. Here's a glassine bag, and inside we have one of those gardening books pages. I love these. And then this is a fabric flower that I made just kind of playing around with some techniques, and I sewed a button here, and then more couching as the stem, and this is sari silk. It was supposed to be a poppy. I hope it looks like a poppy. Another tuck spot with a bridge tally sheet and a rose image. A fold out with a vintage playing card and a little tag or label. I guess that would be a label. Here's another beautiful window display, spider plants, Christmas cactus. I love it. And then I wove some leaf trim here. And this is another book. This is from a Laura Ashley book, which is why it's so frilly. It's got beautiful skylights up top. More washi. A tuck spot here, a beautiful image of maybe heather or lavender, and then I love putting family circle in journals. So this one was want me to help you pick up your toys. So adorable. And this is some handmade paper with some, you know, bits and pieces of leaves and stems in it. I did not make that paper, by the way. Here's some stationery paper. Another fold out page. This one is beautiful. These hydrangeas are so vivid pink. Beautiful watercolor image, and I just put a little vintage fringe here. Another watercolor by my daughter. This is from a Cub Scouts book on chemical gardening. This is a coloring page. So it's got like a rose gold background, and once you add color, it just comes to life. It's so pretty. And then here, I glued down 2 little note sheets. And then in this thing on the edge, we have a bookmark, a digital, and a notepad sheet with a squirrel. I think it's a squirrel. Topiary, that's the word I'm looking for. Squirrel topiary. And this one barely fits, but it will. You just kind of have to make it go. Playing card tuck spot. Another index card and an ad for orchids. Pocket here with another vintage ad for a flora cart. I think it's got grow lights built in. And then a cute little card with houses, and I put a leaf. Beautiful dried floral page. More washi, a botanical image. This is such a cute picture of a little girl with little geraniums maybe, so I turned it into a tuck spot. And then this kind of goes with that kit over there. And then we have a stationery page from a seed company. And I just thought this blended so pretty together, the peach. And there's another watercolor image. Fold out. Tiny little pocket here. It's got glitter on it. I don't know if you can see. And then I stamped, oops, I have this in upside down. I stamped some tickets. And then we have a plant lady card. Here's a pocket with a cluster with this little tropical leaf and a vintage sheet. A clothing tag that says Flora, so I had to use it. Another little stamped journaling card. And another beautiful room with indoor flowers. So pretty. This is a vintage quilt hexagon that I just sort of appliqued onto this page. This is a book about ferns. This is a fern that I cut out, and then I tried to make it look like a macrame hanger. I put a little brad at the top. That was really fun. This is from a vintage children book. They are forcing bulbs in their classroom. Here's another ideals page, Queen Anne's lace, maybe Black Eyed Susan's. And then another stationery page, and this time I glued on some flowers from that trim that's on the front. I thought that was fun to just make it 3D. Color, this is from a color finding book. Here's the other half of that picture from Israel. Botanical page. Here's a patio garden. So their indoor plants are sort of moving out to the patio, which is an outdoor indoor space. And then this is some wrapping paper that I glued onto itself and made a page. Another Laura Ashley image. Look at all that green. And then clipped here, we have a vintage coaster, that's the word, and I stamped this. I'm going to call this a hyacinth because it looks like one. And this is a fold out page, and I put some trim here. There's an envelope here made from a really pretty art book, and then a vintage playing card and one of my daughter's watercolors. And this is from a very old 1940s decorating book. And I just love these wall dividers that used to be open like that, and they filled every one with a plant. That's so neat. I wish that was in color. Another 3D leaf. Some golden washi. We have a transparent pocket. This is actually a photo sleeve from a vintage photo album. And another page from the Life magazine. This is a public pool or hotel pool, I can't remember, in Tel Aviv. And it's just got these gorgeous flowers growing among these rocks. So I did not want to tear this picture apart, so I decided to fold it and put it in here. So this pocket actually has 3 layers. Doesn't really matter which layer it goes between, but it's nicer if you can put it behind the clear one. And then this is just a journaling card. I put a little label here. Another Better Homes page and some sheer ribbon. This is actually some all-weather paper from a notebook that I found. It's like a field notebook, so evidently you can write on this when it's wet, which is really cool. And this I got from Monica in Happy Mail, but I just decided to share it because it's a house and a plant and it's just perfect for this. So it is going in here, and this is a poem with some beautiful flowers from Ideals. A pocket from a gardening book, African violet ad, and more wallpaper. Graph paper and washi, some floral trim ribbon. This is from Work Basket. I stamped a little cactus here. Another Better Homes and Gardens page. This ribbon is really unique. It's vintage, and it sort of looks like a ladder. It's really neat. Another fold-out page. Botanical page. Another project page, and I sewed actually I think I glued a ruffle here. Here's another wallpaper pocket. And we have a little calling card or florist card, I'm not sure which one. And this cute notepad page. And then a macrame ad. And this wallpaper had ferns. Here's a CD pocket, and inside, well, I got this on Happy Mail. I think it might have been on the outside of the package, but I salvaged it because I loved it so much. It's a watering can. I think this also came from Monica. And then I stamped it on the back with a seed store stamp that I was able to find. And we have some embossed paper. I love how easy it is to add envelopes to binder journals. I love that. Here's just a little die cut of a book out of a plant. A plant out of a book. And I put it on cardstock. More ferns. Another fold out. Another full page picture. This is a book page that I Kool-Aid dyed and then glued this felt leaf to. This is sort of a dried flower identification guide or something like that. I just took a page out of that. And in the back I put some trim and then a paper daisy. And this is a verse from Psalms. Beautiful, beautiful yellow. Project page, I stapled a tab here. This page has some yellow sari woven in. Another die cut plant, elephant ears, and here's some right here in a little pot. Clipped here we have just a little journaling card and an ad for peppermint and a flashcard. Oh, and this folds out. This is from Childcraft. There's a little lady with her potting table. Another color page. This is a Kool-Aid dye page that I just stamped little leaves around. And then inside is one of the binder pages that I've turned into a little flip pad. I got this idea from of course it would fall out of my head. If I think of it, I will put it in the description box. She makes a lot of binder journals though. Here's a daisy tuck spot, some more paper that looks homemade, and then this little speckled tag. And a fold out, a pocket with a cluster, and here we have a watercolor of a cyclamen and cyclamen from a gardening book, and a vintage coaster that's P for plants. And then last we have, this is cut out from a calendar. I think this is fuchsia. I may have it upside down thinking about it now, but I just love the pink against the green. And then at the last minute, I decided to add a book page pocket, and I'm gonna leave this one blank for her to put inside whatever she'd like. So I hope you enjoyed this. Flip through, let me know what you think. This is my first real binder journal that I'm not making for myself to keep. I love them personally, but I don't, make that many to sell. So I was excited when she contacted me about making this one. But yes, I think it's beautiful. I think it will be very awesome to keep track of houseplants, watering schedules, all of that. It's got plenty of room for writing and photographs. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. We'll talk soon. Bye.